Hi everyone, my name is Melissa van Dijk, and in today's video I want to talk about how a keto diet can actually backfire if you're not careful about one very important thing. Or maybe if you kind of become a victim of the modern food industry around it. Because nowadays there are keto snacks everywhere. We have keto desserts, keto replacement foods, ready-made keto meals. And when I look at all of this now, I kind of feel like the original focus behind the keto got a little bit lost somewhere along the way. Because originally, keto was much more focused on dramatically reducing carbohydrates, rather than constantly recreating processed replacement foods for everything. Things like meat, fish, eggs, vegetables, simple meals. And I still think that can be a really good way of eating for a lot of people, especially if somebody is coming from a very processed food environment beforehand. But often it feels like people are just recreating the exact same processed food cycle again, just packaged differently and marketed as healthy or keto. And I experienced this myself quite heavily when I started looking into keto more seriously. I ended up eating huge amounts of things like olives, smoked or canned fish, cheese, nuts, processed meats, keto bread, and all kinds of fermented foods. In the keto online space, these foods are often praised as being very healthy. And to be fair, many of them do naturally have a really good nutritional value, at least when you look at it on paper. But the problem probably starts when you mainly consume them in heavily processed or preserved forms all the time. At that point, you're often really getting huge amounts of sodium and preservatives over and over again throughout the entire day. And honestly, over time, my skin actually started getting worse instead of better. At one point, my skin even became worse than before. And for months, I constantly felt exhausted too. And looking back at it now, I kind of started wondering if part of the issue was that my carbohydrates had become extremely low, while at the same time my intake of salty preserved foods, fats and protein had become extremely high. And I did not fully realize how extreme that imbalance had actually become while I was doing it. So now looking back at it, I think one of the biggest mistakes people can make on a keto is relying too heavily on preserved and packaged foods. Because the real foundation of a healthier keto diet is much more about eating fresher whole foods overall. Like fresh meat, eggs, vegetables, fresh fish, simple meals. And just to be clear, this is not me bashing the keto diet at all. Because keto also helped me transition into a much healthier lifestyle overall. And generally helped my skin during certain periods too. But I think it works best when the diet is built mostly around fresh whole foods and not around constantly relying on packaged keto products. Because at some point it kind of stops becoming a whole food diet and just turns back into another processed food diet again, but only with different marketing. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!